Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Maria. Today I would like to swatch and review a set of heavy body acrylics by LIQUITEX. I'm really excited to try this paint. I've started using acrylics almost exclusively last year, but I only ever use student grade paint. And I think this would be a really great addition to my artistic journey. So let's swatch and review this paint. I will use this template for swatches. This way we can see how the paint performs on white and black paper. Here's my paint set. It consists of 12 essential colors. Heavy Body is pigmented paint of high viscosity. It promises to have a vibrant finish and hold crisp brush strokes. Let's start swatching with the first color of the set, Yellow Medium Azo. It's a semi-opaque acrylic with an excellent light fastness rating. I'm putting a bit of paint right onto the brush, because I honestly hate to waste any of it. Acrylic paint dries very quickly, and it can't be reactivated after it dried, so I'm not gonna be wasteful. As you can see, the paint is semi-transparent and the black background is peeking through. This yellow is really pleasant and is a bit on a warmer side. The paint applies quite smoothly, but I think I should have used some water. The next paint is Naphthol Red Light. Although it's supposed to be semi-opaque, I'm quite impressed with the coverage. It's very pigmented and it creates a very homogeneous and strong brush stroke. And I also think it's a very beautiful color. It's this glowy warm red, which I'm really excited to use in a painting. And the light fastness is excellent too. Next we have Quinacridone Crimson. It's a transparent paint of excellent light fastness. It's a beautiful intense red shade with a blue undertone, and the application is once again really smooth. I think this paint would be beautiful as a glaze on top of more opaque red color. Now let's swatch Dioxazine Purple. It's a transparent paint. This time the light fastness is very good instead of excellent. It's a beautiful dark purple with a bluish tint to it. Even though the paint is transparent, the coverage is really good. And here's Ultramarine Blue of red shade. It's a transparent paint of excellent light fastness. I'm very partial to blue, but this is absolutely beautiful. Such a bold, slightly warm-toned color, and I'm really excited to use it in the future. Next we have Cerulean Blue Hue. By hue, we mean that the color was achieved by using different pigments instead of the original one. This paint is opaque, and the light fastness rating is excellent. It is a very rich blue color. The paint is covering the black square wonderfully, and it feels really smooth on the paper. Now we'll swatch Phthalo Green. Phthalo Green is a transparent pigment of excellent light fastness. As you can see, the color is quite transparent. It's also on the cooler side, as it says on a tube, it's blue shade. Coming up next we have Yellow Oxide. It is opaque and the light fastness is excellent. It's a beautiful, earthy shade, which I'm probably gonna use a lot. I also really like how it applies to paper. It's really smooth and good coverage. The next paint is Transparent Burnt Sienna. It's transparent, as it says on the tube, and the light fastness is excellent once again. It's a lovely brown with a hint of red. I heard that it can be used for a great underpainting and allow the colors on top to glow, and I would really like to try this technique. Now we'll take a look at Transparent Raw Umber. Once again, it's transparent with great light fastness. Raw Umber is a dark, earthy brown. It's a really nice color, which is definitely gonna be used a lot. And I really like how it feels on the brush. It's smooth and it doesn't drag. Next up, we've got Ivory Black. It's an opaque paint and the light fastness is excellent. I definitely don't use black a lot in my work. I find that it makes paintings a bit dull, but it definitely has its uses. I don't really have much to say here, but this paint definitely feels just as nice as the others. And the last paint in this set is titanium white. In comparison to black, I can say I use a lot of titanium white. I don't think you can go wrong with titanium white. It's usually always opaque, and in this case it's also of perfect light fastness. To be fair, I tried lots of brands of titanium white and it was never bad. So I'm really pleased with the swatches. I can only compare it to my LIQUITEX Basics, but this paint was definitely much more opaque, much more pigmented and smooth in application. And I'm really interested to see how it will perform in an actual painting. So here I have a tiny canvas and I just want to test it and see what it's gonna look like. I've primed and toned my panel off screen and it's ready for paint. Whenever I use new paint, I like to create something quick and small. It's not about perfection, but about learning a correct workflow. So today I've decided to paint a simple red apple to test all the beautiful reds and browns in the set. As I'm using the paint more, I noticed that the drying time is a bit slower than in comparison to basics, for instance. But when I'm aware of it, I can use it to my advantage. Sometimes it's important to let a layer dry first before adding more paint, because there is a risk of moving the paint and creating uneven patches. I've also noticed that some colors dry a bit darker than they appear first. When the paint dries, it has a beautiful glowing sheen to it, which reminds me of oil paint. It also blends quite nicely, as long as I don't layer too much. I usually prefer to use thinner layers, but it would take me much longer, and I don't really want to spend too much time on this test painting. And here's a finished painting. I think I could spend much more time on rendering, but I still learned a lot about this set of heavy body paint. It honestly felt luxurious to paint with it. I'm used to thinner, more transparent student-grade paint. But the question is it worth a much higher price tag? Here is a painting I created with LIQUITEX Basics in comparison. Admittedly, I spent much more time on it, and it has a more interesting composition, but I used cheap paint and still enjoyed the process. All in all, I think you can achieve beautiful results with this paint, but it's definitely more expensive, so I will be using it for finishing touches. I hope this review helps you. Let me know what your favorite brand of acrylic paint is in the comments down below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.